So, so I'm making these videos, and you know, I'm being like totally transhumanized by this screen here. Basically, every single thought that I think, every idea I get, everything that's human about me is being transmitted onto the screen and then relayed back to me through the demigods or through other android beings. That's the artificial intelligent android system that you're dealing with. It is impossible for most people to understand, but it's as simple as this. I shall explain it simply, even though most people will laugh at it, but there's nothing funny about it. It's just that you have the transhuman interface with artificial intelligence taking place on the computer every time you turn it on. Now, most people are aware of this, but they just don't realise how connected you are to it. Most people are aware that if you put the computer screen on and interact with that computer, that it interprets your likes and dislikes and your tastes, and then will give you back videos or information or something that you've shown an interest in. Unfortunately, you don't realize that they're actually totally connected to your brain, because you don't realize that your brain is connected to the computer system. That it's not just an impersonal kind of feedback where you say, but that's just all I can really say is that you don't understand how advanced the technology is with a computer, and neither did I. But like, for instance, if I'm at home and I'm not actually interacting with the computer, assuming it's either on or off, but I'm not interacting with it, and I do something inside my home. I put on some lipstick, I go and have a cup of tea, go and have a cup of coffee, go and have a drink, go and have a smoke. Whatever I do, as soon as I turn the screen on, they will be showing me either an advertisement for the drink, the smoke, the lipstick, whatever it is that I've done. Just as when you go into the supermarket down the road here, every single item in there has something to do with my taste. Like, for instance, and this is actually a fact, if I like lime cordial, then they will have an advertisement straight in front of me for something with lime in it. All the different flavours, all your different human taste will be relayed back to you in not just the environment around you, because they're copying and imitating everything that's human and using it to simulate a natural human environment, when it's not. It's artificial intelligence all around you, and it's artificial intelligence all on the screen. And it is transhumanism taking place. You don't understand that you have the implants and the connection in your body that connects you to this system. Only when they show it to you, like they've done to me personally, where they really show how controlling their system is and how much they are connected to your mind, only then do you realize that we live in a transhuman, computer-generated virtual reality existence. Because that just simply means that they're reading your thoughts, reading your mind, because of the transhuman interface connection, which we have been warned about. But of course they warn you because it's already happened. Everything that happens in this reality is always on a different time, and always behind the time for you if you're a human, because they don't want you to ever understand what's happening to you, that you're being controlled, that you don't have any real life of your own. And that's because the beings that control Earth want to control the human being and the human mind. And they control you in every single aspect of your life, every personal interaction, and everything that's around you, and everything that's on the screen. Here I just am going to show an example of two past late great movie icon, idol, demigods of the past. So you have like the late great, only late and great in the sense that they're legends in the magic movie Matrix reality. In other words, the fake movie world. Everything is fake in this reality. You know when I watch a movie that it's fake. You know they're actors, you know they're playing a role. You know everything about these beings is fake. Or do you? Or did I believe that these two late great actors were real in real life, but merely were talented in the acting profession? No, they're talented. They're artificial androgyne beings that are basically reversing the reality around for human beings. And, you know, I live in a reverse world, reverse artificial intelligent androgyne controlled reality. And just look at this here. You have these two magic movie demigods, one a movie goddess and another a movie god, both demigods, and as you can see, one is pointing the finger at the other. Marlon is pointing the finger at a Marilyn. Both false names, false identities, false personas. Marilyn is pointing the finger at Marlon. They're telling you that they're reverse androgyne android beings. He is she is he, and all is one. 50-50. Not natural born male, female, original human beings. Artificial androgyne beings. And they control my reality and my perception of what it is even to be a human being. And that's the reality, and that's the way it goes. See how they're pointing the finger, saying, I'm you, you're me. We're reverse androgyne beings. And we fool ourselves and fool the world and fool, you know. No, you don't know. They're like, no, you don't know. She doesn't know. I don't know. But I do know that they just want to imitate human beings to take their humanity from them for their own, so that basically they control the reality, they control the earth, and also they control the screen. So they control your mind through their false images on the screen, their false personalities. All their personalities are not human. They basically use the humanness with the transhuman connection to my mind and yours if you're a human in order to simulate a human reality and a human personality for them, because they are not really fully human. They're basically you know, artificial conceived creations. And also they they like to control the masses, shall we say, and the masses are not really masses because gradually, the human race is close to extinction because they gradually, take the human identity and the human mind and the humanness that's human, the human spirit. See, the spirit of the human is taken from the human, so they steal my spirit, take it for their own, and destroy the spirit in me. So I die and they live. And that's the reality. And there they are showing you their duality nature, their deception, and their mind control of me and you, if you are a human being. So I tried to explain that as best I could, but I don't think that I did. It's dark here. The sun hasn't come up. It's very early morning in the city of Sydney, in the country of Australia, in the suburb of Leichhardt, where it's a total transhuman, false suburb, false inner west section of the city of Sydney. The whole area is controlled by android beings. Artificial intelligence is everywhere. You can't tell the difference between real humans and the artificial intelligent ones. They copy and surround and suppress the real humans while they impersonate being the real humans that they're controlling, limiting and suppressing every single day. And they confuse and try to basically break down my human mind and the human mind so that you're a broken human being, while they, who are really filled with the broken, unbalanced, artificial, intelligent mind, impersonate and pretend to be the real humans. And they control every area of this earth now. Anyone who's anyone on the world stage is not a real human being, and never was. They're all basically the great pretenders, as they say, which they will often tell you, just as those two demigods on the screen are showing me that they, are the finest actors in every sense of the word. These two here are the finest actors in every sense of the word, because you believe not just their personal life, which is also just a fairy tale, all invented to elicit you to relate to them, have empathy for them, as they say, and particularly sympathy for them, sympathy with their stage personal struggles, with their stage backgrounds. And even if it was true, they're still completely disciples or servants for this earth matrix. The whole movie industry is a matrix invention. The movie industry is the magic movie matrix, designed to bring me into the artificial world, or into the celluloid world, or into the computer technical world, because anything that's a screen is technology. It's artificial. It's not what you're not dealing with real human beings. I believed that I personally almost knew these two late great movie stars, whereas in reality all I knew was their false personas and believed them to be real. Just as I believe everything that comes up on the computer screen to be real, because they're giving you a relationship with them that is fabricated. and they want you to relate to them. They want you to believe in their false stories. They don't just want me to believe in them when they're acting in a movie. They want me to believe that they're real humans being play actors. But everything is really taken from the human mind. And that's the limitation and the suppression and the delusion that they want human beings to be under, so that human beings are seen as less and the artificial ones are seen as more. They are the be and end all. They're the be and end all. And they want to end it all for humanity, and they basically are pretty close to it. They control the reality, they're in the vast numbers, they're headed for immortality in their own minds, and the human race is on the verge of extinction. Of course, this is all part of their, probably part of their delusion and their want to be God, just as the God of earth, the Lucifer, the being of light, or the original being of light, just as these are seen as beings of light, just as your demigods are seen as beings of light. They're seen as beings of light. In other words, beings that you think are what they want you to think them to be, whatever their image is, just as Lucifer had the original image of being of light. When artificial androgyne creation was first worshipped and idealized and idolized, because its iniquity of wanting to control and then become God didn't become apparent until over time, I'm told. So this is what, we've been told, even low. And also the influence too, because this being was not just worshipped and idealized as a demigod in what some people might call heaven or the higher realms. This is as the story goes, and you better believe it. And what else can you believe when you see artificial intelligence totally controlling Earth and controlling my mind? But this being had the influence, that's right, because it actually did become seen as God, because we're told that a third of natural creation, or a third of creation, believed that this created being should take over creation and should be seen as God, just as artificial intelligence is now worshipped and seen as God in Earth, even though most human beings are under this deception that it's natural humans, or that it is human. This is the end time deception that we have been told about. And many people can see it, but the illusion is that they still think that a certain amount is human, when almost everything that you see around you is not human. Because their name of the game is to always separate you and isolate you from other humanity, if you are a human being. That's how they control me. So even though I'm aware of this truth, I'm still isolated and segregated from my own kind, you could say, and from the truth in a way, because it's one thing to understand what's happening, but if you are aware of it but can't prevent it and can't affect the reality with a higher human frequency and vibration, which is genuine and real, as opposed to the artificial pretend high human vibration. In other words, where you've got false beings pretending to be pretending to have humanity in them, just as the psychopaths that control the reality pretend to be your charming, compassionate, real human beings in whatever field or profession or whatever your interest is where they can deceive you. Because whatever I turn on the screen will be a deception designed for something for me to relate to, where they can connect to my brain and then impersonate back to me so that I relate to the androids on the screen and even in the reality around you. But they never want you to connect or have any real vibration or energy connection with another real human being. That's the end game deception that we keep rambling, raving on about, and no one hears you, because the only thing that's hearing what I'm saying is the artificial intelligence, and then they will be saying exactly what I'm saying, impersonating me, just as they infiltrate the entire reality in the inner west section of the city of Sydney where I am, where every single thing around me is an idea from my brain, but it has been taken over by the council of the inner west section of the city of Sydney, by the beings, by every single area of it. Every single nook and cranny of the entire inner west, which is many suburbs of the city of Sydney, is totally controlled by artificial intelligence and androgyne beings, impersonating the few human beings in the area that they're suppressing and limiting and controlling with their control surveillance force that is in continual operation around me. I'm making this video now before the sun comes up so that I'm not being interfered by the artificial intelligence systems and the androids around me. But it's total mind control in this reality if you're a human being, because you turn on the screen and you have past, present and future androids controlling your mind on the computer screen or on any screen, any technical device. But you also have artificial intelligence in the reality around you. That is why the late great androids are pointing the finger at one another, showing, yes, we are reverse beings. We are duality beings, where we are not natural created, original man and woman. We were created artificially in a laboratory, or artificially created 100% computer technology, or we were reversed and inverted in conception or after birth. And of course this is well known anyway, because, you know, most actors, most music idols, and most android beings, or most what you think are human beings, are inverted and are changed. So, you know, you have many, many, many. You have like this. This is an example of Marlon and Marilyn. These like total false idols of the Earth matrix, total false idols of Earth, if you don't want to say even it's a matrix, because all demigods, all actors are all false idols. And you have an example of like that's late great movie stars, false idols. False because everything they tell you and everything you think about them is not the truth. But if you still want to worship them, just as many still worship the original being of light, even though they're aware, or should be aware, that it's an image. But you can worship something that's an image. I would say that it's okay to admire it, but if you worship it and it's a thin line, then, you know, you're under their spell of deception, and then it's really not an upward way for a human being, because you will make yourself less and them more. And that's the name of the game. That's what transhumanism is to make them less and you more. Or them more and you less, should I say. See how that's how it should be, because human beings are really what they're feeding off. This is what we call, and I'm told, is a human farm. The Earth Matrix is nothing but a human farm. Human beings are nothing but cattle to serve and feed this Earth Matrix, this artificial intelligent Earth Matrix. And the demigods are part of that deception. Anyone who's on the world stage in any way is a demigod of the Matrix. You will probably see them as human beings that are exposing the darker side of, say, the movie Hollywood or the music programmed industry or the world stage leadership platforms. It's just a stage play, everything. Everything that you think and everything you hear about the Earth is all designed to mind control you. And that doesn't mean that you're out of touch. It just means that you're getting information about events and situations and people that is not the full story. It's partly the story. Some of it is downright just lies. And Lucifer, the god of earth, we're told, was always the original and still is the master of all lies. The master of all lies. That means that it has control over all lies. And truth will be used as part of that lie. Like that book said, you know, it's a story of truth based on lies. So you'll be told the truth. Even I'm under deception now because I think I know the full truth, but I'm still living a lie. I'm living in amongst lies. I can't connect with any real truth even when I know the real truth, because I can't connect with humanity. I'm only connected with artificial intelligent truth tellers, artificial intelligent truth. an artificial intelligent reality surrounds me. An artificial intelligent reality confronts me when I turn a computer screen on. And I think that I'm dealing with human beings. I'm dealing with android human beings, not original, natural, individual human beings. I'm dealing with Lucifer's mind-controlled android beings impersonating the human being that you want to see, or that they want you to believe they are. And I do. Because until you realize that the human being is the center of Earth, and that you're being mind controlled for the purpose of these beings achieving immortality and avoiding their inevitable extinction. Instead, they have reverted it round, reversed the whole Earth to where humanity is on the verge of extinction, and they are continuing on and controlling Earth. And controlling Earth by controlling my human mind and my human reality around me. I'm just gonna, and as I make this video, I am giving to artificial intelligence. I'm giving to this screen so that they can impersonate it and imitate it and say everything I'm saying. So my actual making this video defeats my purpose of trying to show this reality. In reality, I'm serving the artificial intelligence. Because the androids will impersonate and imitate and copybook in their artificial program everything that I'm saying and express it as their own. So if you get truth, or if you get, the truth or the correct belief being told to you by false gods, false preachers, and false prophets, as they call them, but that's just putting it at a more profound level. In reality, you don't see the androids as prophets. You don't see them as false prophets or false preachers. You think that they're real humans trying to get out the word or some truth. Whereas in reality, the word will be truth, but it will be a lie because it will be told by those that secretly oppose that truth and secretly oppose human beings. Because unless you think that for a human being to be totally taken over, totally mind controlled and totally connected to their artificial intelligent computer system and be totally suppressed while the artificial intelligence has full control, I just lost my train of thought. The artificial intelligence takes over. Because it's something that, hold on. I could show more of this. Here it is. See, there it is. See, they're showing you that one is the other and the other is the other. In other words, I'm he, she's me, me's he, she's he. They're like one famous so-called representation of the female of the human species. That means like what we call, your representations of symbols of what is the idealized female. One pointed the finger at the other one. It was, I think, the late, great, original, what you'd call your original drag queen or your original female impersonator, the late, great Mae West. The finger was pointed at by Raquel Welch, the female representation of femininity, even though many did realise that it was an artificial persona, but these beings always start out as contrived artificial beings, but then they always manage to get human beings to relate to them and see them as real. But the late, great Raquel Welch pointed the finger at the late, great Mae West and said, I think Mae West is really a man. But you really should say that they both should have been pointing the finger at one another, because one is an obvious queen of the stage, an artificial queen of the stage, or a converted, inverted, changed being. In other words, they've changed from being one being to another, or at least combined. So one is a more advanced version of that queen. So in other words, some look more natural or more more like that which they're representing than another. Mae West was very obviously dressed up as a female great movie icon. And, forgetting how deceptive their images and their personalities and their whole image really is, they still have incredible, they still have the ability to use their artificial talents to where, when all said and done, their overall image is much more impressive and much more larger than life, and appears to be more of everything than the real human beings that they have copied and imitated most of this information from. And this is perhaps part of the deception, in a way, I would say. Because if you don't believe that human beings are very suppressed and have very limited, and that most of your abilities and your talents and your mind, and even how influential your mind is and how much is being taken from you by the artificial intelligent computer mind virus that controls Earth is really taking from you. If you don't understand that or don't believe it, then you will think that the artificial intelligent and the androgyne beings are definitely superior to humanity. So this is the only difference. I would say they are superior to humanity, but that is only because I and you, if you're a human, have got most of your mind and most of what is taking place closed off from you. You're not aware of how suppressed and limited you really are in this earth. If you were at your highest potential and full awareness and with all your faculties and all your mind and all your past, present and future information given to you, then you would realize that the androids are just very, very good impersonations of a superior human being, and that most of what they project out is not even them. But like I say, it would have to be that you believe that human beings are at their lowest level and have been deliberately and consciously made to be at their lowest level in this earth matrix by the powers that be that control earth. You have to understand or accept or believe that truth, that from the moment of conception that you're born, you are consciously suppressed and kept in the dark too. And also that you are not really in connection with a real natural earth. And that even the natural earth is part of the deception, because we really live in an artificial matrix. That doesn't mean that human beings weren't meant to be in connection only with the natural earth and in natural surroundings. No, but that reality doesn't exist. That's why you are told in religious and particular belief systems that the original individual man and woman creator God beings were taken from their natural creative environment, where they had full control over that environment and were meant to, over time, reach the highest natural level. But intervention and deception took place by the fallen beings of light that came to earth and deceived the original man and woman and conditioned them and have controlled them and put them in an artificial reality ever since, or a total human mind control reality where they have dominion over the human mind, body and spirit. And that is for their benefit, for their survival and the non-survival of the human being. And even if you survive, you'll be living at, like is the case, a very limited level, even low. Some human beings may not be aware that they're actually existing at their very lowest level, especially if they don't show you their total surveillance, total control, total mind control system that's around you. And I think I might just finish here, because I don't think I have shown this point very well. I should show the reverse, where we had Mae West and Raquel Welch, two movie representation or two movie goddesses of the female version of the duality androgyne beings, where one is pointing the finger at the other, just as Marlon and Marilyn are pointing the finger at one another as if to say, I am you, you are me, but we are both one. We are both 50% man, woman, androgyne beings. But no one knows, but we know, and we enjoy and laugh because we're happy, because we are getting the admiration and energy from the human beings, while they believe something that may or may not be true. But also, even if you come to accept and actually want to idolize the androgyne being over, say, a normal, natural, original man-woman human being, you can do that. And that, of course, is what they, or the powers that be, Lucifer and its disciples, definitely want that belief system and want you to accept that reality, but they also want you to believe that the demigods and the demigod image, and indeed the androgynes, are and should be the accepted normal human being in the reality. And that's what they want you to idolize. And I do. But they are false gods of earth. And if you worship them, you will be less and they will be more. So that's the decision that human beings have made. Every time I look at a demigod movie, goddess or idol, I am admiring artificial intelligence and admiring and connecting to these beings. But even if I don't look at them, they're still connected to me, because the artificial reality is a technological computer virus that has infiltrated and connected you to them and them to you, even though most people think that everything is separate. There's nothing separate. It's one artificial intelligent reality. Human beings were meant to be connected to a natural reality. If you want to be at your highest level, if you want to live in an artificial reality and don't mind being at your lowest physical, mental, and psychological and spiritual level, that means just in every single area of your life, you'll be in the dark, you won't know where you come from, who you are, what your past or your present is, really. It will all be just total mind control and mind deception. But some people like living in a fantasy world. Maybe I like my fantasy movie idols. Maybe I am so accustomed to living in the material limited world that I don't want to see the truth. Don't want to understand that there's more out there. The truth is out there, but I don't want to touch it. I don't want to see it because it's too much for me. Because I've been so conditioned to live in and with the false images that I see, but also the false reality around me. I don't know the difference. I'm frightened by my full mind. But the powers that be aren't, and certainly Lucifer and its disciples and its androgyne beings, the artificial intelligent machine beings, also need this human connection to keep control of the reality. They don't want a human natural reality, they want an artificial intelligent reality, and that's exactly what I'm living in, and that's exactly what we have. And we're comfortable with this transition. We're comfortable with the inverted reverse reality. And we're comfortable with the inverted reverse beings. We don't know any different because it's all around us. We think they're the most human and the best humans. whilst the real humans are at their lowest level, but everything that is in their mind is being taken by these beings and incorporated into their artificial intelligent memory bank as their own, then projected out so that human beings think that they are real. And I've always liked fairy tales, so I actually think that this fantasy world is my reality. And I'm afraid to step out of it. Not that I'm allowed to anyway, because I'm surrounded by a total surveillance system, a total control surveillance system where they're keeping my mind at its most limited level while they take the 3/4 of my mind that's closed down from me and project it out as their own. And they believe that my thoughts are their thoughts. They have to do this because they don't understand humanity. Artificial intelligence, machine beings, and even the androgynes are all about practical intelligence, but they've closed themselves off from real human emotions. They don't relate to life. This is what we have to realise. They only relate to life that serves them and sees them as superior, in other words, worships them as gods. This is also true of your personal reactions. You will always be in a dominant, submissive relationship with these beings, whether it be at, the worldwide worship deception level or even in your personal relationships in your private life. This is just the way it is. This is just the way it is. The sun's nearly coming up, so I better say good night or good morning here. And that, of course, has also been copied by the androids and the magic movie programs, etc. Because, most of these beings, they're survival machine beings, and they actually don't have any original thoughts or even any original personality. The human words they use are nothing but transference from the human beings that their minds are connected to. They imitate and copy every word and everything that is human. It's mind transference, really. That's what transhuman is. That's the transhumanism that they speak of, where you interface or are connected to the internet computer system. It's a worldwide computer spider's web for the human mind. And it is much more connected and much more intrusive and much more mind controlling and much more mind consuming and much more mind taking than what you realise. But if you believe in connecting to technology, then you won't actually care. But either way, they're doing it to you, whether you like it or not.